You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis, and we got baseball tonight at Ross Memorial Park in Washington County. Peters Township hosting this one against Bethel Park. And you see the starting lineups on your screen there for both teams. Bethel Park's starting lineup: Ryan Petrus batting first, playing short. Ethan Stanhoff at second, doing the catching. Noah Lejeune batting third, the designated hitter for starting pitcher Dylan Paul. Batting fourth at third base, Mike Bruckner. At the fifth spot in the order, center fielder Jack Bruckner. Eric Meal in left field. Nick Rillo at second. Owen White at first base, and then Caden Stokes in right field. And Bethel Park will be facing Zach Miner on the mound. Zach Miner was the catcher in the first game of this two-game set. And that will be the starting pitcher in this one against Bethel Park, and Ryan Petrus steps in, and this game is ready to get underway. First pitch of the ball game's outside, ball one. One-0 from Miner. High and in, ball two to Ryan Petrus. Too high, it's ball three. 3-ball, no strike count. .49 degrees in Washington County right now. Very windy evening. Strike one there. Miner gets in the strike column with that one. 3-ball, 1 strike count. Nobody out, this game just underway. On the ground, chopped toward the left side of the infield. Backhanded play, not in time. The throw from Stofik at shortstop, too late. And Ryan Petrus reaches on an infield single to open up the ball game. Now there's Ethan Stanhoff, catcher and number 2 hitter in the order for Bethel Park. Miner comes set. On the ground, chopped high over the third baseman's head and into left field. You get some of those extra high hops on turf. And that one was a high hopper well over the head of the third baseman, Corrado. And so 2 ground ball singles have runners at first and second for Bethel Park with nobody out. And with that, a courtesy runner comes on. That is Aaron Hoffbauer. So Noah Lejeune will bat, the designated hitter for Bethel Park and 3 hitter in the order. In an early run scoring spot for Bethel Park. Petrus on second, Hoffbauer on first base. Bunt shown, and he bunts it down the third base line. It's rolling foul, and Miner will touch it, making it official. No balls, 1 strike on Noah Lejeune. Both teams were bunting pretty heavily in the first game of this set yesterday, Tuesday the 15th. Bethel Park really had it rolling. A lot of players get on base. Weren't even just sacrifice bunts, or players getting on base pretty regularly via the bunt from all parts of the order. Miner's pitch. Bunt popped into the air. Miner makes the catch, and both runners will have to retreat and tag up. 1 out. So still 2 on, 1 out. Now in the top of the first inning. And here is Mike Bruckner. Minor comes set. Strike called, no ball, 1 strike count. Minor looks to second. Petrus leading off there. Pitch. Too low for a ball. Count even. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Bethel Park third baseman and cleanup hitter in the order. The pitch. Breaking ball. Too far outside. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Starting defense for Peters Township, Liam Wall. Doing the catching. Brody Takis at first base. At second, James Tigard. At third base, Adam Corrado. At shortstop, Colin Stofick. Pitch from Minor. Fly to right. Close to the line. And just out of the reach of the right fielder, Brad Bucci. Foul ball. So in left, Jackson Stoker. In center field, Michael Alspa. And in right, Brad Bucci. Even count on Mike Bruckner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 ground ball singles to open the ball game. Ryan Petrus singled. He's on second. Ethan Stanhoff singled. He was on first, and he's being courtesy ran for now by Aaron Hoffbauer, who's the one leading off the bag, and time called at the plate. So Minor steps off, resets, as does Mike Bruckner in the batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No score yet, top of the first inning. Breaking ball, foul down the third base line. And they'll do it again. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Minor gets his sign, comes set. 2-2 coming to Mike Bruckner. In the dirt. That runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. High and inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. This is almost exactly how Peters Township started the ball game yesterday when it batted in the top of the first inning. Except there were walks issued by Dylan Schumacher that loaded the bases, but Bethel Park got out of that top of the first inning, not letting any runs up. Now Peters in a very similar situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. Top of the first inning, no score yet, but a golden opportunity for Bethel Park to get on the scoreboard early. Fouled back. No balls, 1 strike. Jack Bruckner batting now, center fielder and number 5 hitter in the order for Bethel Park. Bethel Park beat Peters yesterday 5-3. And now Bethel Park leading Class 5A Section 2 again with a 5-2 record. South Fayette a half game behind after losing 11-5 against Upper St. Clair yesterday. Pop fly, shallow right field. Bucci running for it. Bucci's got it. Catch made. Petrus will tag, and after a delayed break, Petrus does score. And so Petrus earns Jack Bruckner a sacrifice fly. And so Bethel Park up early, 1-0. Still top of the first inning. And it's the number 6 hitter in the order now. It is Eric Meal. Too high and in, ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for Bethel Park. Jack Bruckner just had a sacrifice fly, scoring Ryan Petrus from third base. Minor slide step pitch is chopped on the ground toward the middle. Throw to first is in time. It's Colin Stofick, the shortstop, making the play. And that ends the inning. Bethel Park able to get a run across on the sacrifice fly by Jack Bruckner. After a half inning, it is Bethel Park 1. Peters Township's coming to bat. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. Starting lineup for Peters Township as follows: James Tigard, second baseman, batting first. Jackson Stoker batting second, playing left. Colin Stofick at shortstop, batting third. Zach Minder, the pitcher, batting fourth. Brody Takis, first baseman, batting fifth. Brad Bucci, the right fielder, batting sixth. Michael Alsbaugh, center fielder, batting seventh. Jordan Hott, the designated hitter, batting eighth, and he's batting for catcher Liam Wall. And then in the 9th spot, third baseman Adam Corrado. They're going to go up against Bethel Park's right-hander Dylan Paul. Bethel Park got a run in the top of the first inning. Bethel Park had singles from Ryan Petrus and Ethan Stanhoff. Jack Bruckner had a sacrifice fly later in the inning that pushed Petrus across to score. And so Bethel Park batted 6 in the top of the first, scored 1, and has a 1-0 lead here early on. Peters Township with its first at-bats of the game. The first pitch to Tigard is grounded to third. Mike Bruckner throws to Owen White at first base, and a 1-pitch out of Tigard to open the bottom of the first inning. Jackson Stoker to the plate now, number 2 hitter in the order, wearing the number 2. And playing left field in this game for Peters. Dylan Paul from the windup. Strike counts 0-1. So this is a Class 5A Section 2 WPIAL baseball game. Bethel Park, the leader in the section, 5-2 section record, first of the 7 teams in the section. That one grounded to Dylan Paul sharply, and Paul will flip it over for the routine force out at first base. Stoker is out, and that's 2 quick outs for Bethel Park in the bottom of the first inning. Peters Township has fallen to 6th in the section, 6th of the 7 teams in the section. Right now they're 2-3 in the section with their 3rd section loss after losing to Bethel Park yesterday. Swing and a miss. Colin Stofick batting now, 3 hitter in the order and shortstop for Peters. Oh, 1. Breaking ball, well placed on the inside edge of the plate. Counts no balls and 2 strikes. Dylan Paul from the windup. Chopped on the ground toward third. Bruckner charges, fields, and throws it over to Owen White. Stofik out. And Peters Township goes down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base for Peters. After a full inning, it's Bethel Park 1, Peters Township 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. If you're watching this game on April 16th, 2025, it is live. We've got live games on YouTube and live games on cable television. All season for baseball, all section games, home and away, covered here on BPTV and Blackhawk TV. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Bethel Park in this top of the second inning. Nick Rillo, Owen White, and Caden Stokes. Zach Miner, Peters Township pitcher, delivers, and that's a breaking ball. Off the plate for a ball, counts 1-0. Couple singles for Bethel Park, and later in the inning, a sacrifice fly. Allowed Bethel Park to score in the top of the first inning. So it's 1-0 entering the second. Here's Miner's pitch. Line toward left field. Traveling back, and it's tracked down out in left field by Jackson Stoker for out number 1. So Nick Rillo flies out, first out of this top of the second inning. And now here is Owen White, first baseman and 8th hitter in the order. Getting some playing time today because Dylan Paul, who usually plays first, is pitching. Strike one called there, no ball, 1 strike count on Owen White. Zach Miner from the windup. On the ground towards second base. And the play made over there at second by James Tigard. Owen White forced out at first base for out number 2. So after an eventful open to the game in the top of the first, Bethel Park commits 2 quick outs in the top of the second. Now here's the number 9 hitter in the order, right fielder Caden Stokes. Also played right field and batted 9th in yesterday's game. First pitch too far. So far it hit the ground. Out of the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Zach Miner's pitch. Finds the outside edge, strike 1. Caden Stokes getting more playing time now this season since Ryan Walsh out with an injury. And I was told by head coach Zender to give Ryan Walsh a shout out. He's been watching these games since he hasn't been playing from the hospital. So hello, Ryan. Nice of you to be with us. Chopped on the ground to third. Played. Over there at third base by Adam Corrado. And routine force out made there. Bethel Park goes down 1-2-3 in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. After an inning and a half, it's Bethel Park 1, Peters Township 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis, here at Ross Memorial Park, where Peters Township plays host to Bethel Park. Just a review of the starting lineups there again on your screen. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up this half inning for Peters Township. Zach Miner, Brody Takis, and Brad Bucci. Peters Township went down in order in the top of the first, and then set Bethel Park down 1, 2, 3 in the top of the second. So the difference in the game early on is a Bethel Park sac fly by Jack Bruckner in the top of the first. It's 1-0, bottom of the second, and the pitch to Miner is a strike. Dylan Paul entering his second inning on the mound for Bethel Park. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Strike called there over the outside edge of the plate. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on the starting pitcher in today's game for Peters. Too high. Bait pitch there from Dylan Paul. Misses. Counts 1 and 2. So the two mountain opponents facing each other here. The only time they will face each other, Dylan Paul will not bat against Zach Miner when Miner pitches because Paul is being designated hit for. Off-speed pitch, off the plate. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Paul's pitch. Foul tipped. So Miner stays alive. Count still even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Paul's delivery. Off-speed pitch, hit on the ground to Nick Rillo at second base. Throws to White at first base, and Zach Miner is out. 1 out, bottom of the second inning, and here is Brody Takis, batting in the 5 spot for Peters Township and playing first base. The pitch. A little off the plate, ball 1. The pitch. Just a bit off the plate there as well. Takis ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom of the second inning, Bethel Park leading Peters Township 1-0. Soft line drive toward third. Bruckner plays it on a hop and gets the out at first base. That's out number 2. So 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. Here comes the right fielder for Peters Township, Brad Bucci. Bases empty, 2 outs, Bethel Park with a 1-run lead. Swing and a miss. Dylan Paul has set down the first 5 in a row. Peters Township batters he's faced. Here's the pitch. On the ground, and Rillo can't make the diving play. Gets past him into the outfield, and that's Peters Township's first hit. Bucci reaches, extending the inning just a bit further. Here's Michael Alspa. Center fielder and 7 hitter in the order for Peters. Dylan Paul comes set and misses with that breaking pitch outside, ball 1. Bethel Park had a sac fly hit by Jack Bruckner in the top of the first inning to give The run to the board. On the ground again to Nick Rillo at second. He elects to go to Owen White at first base, completing the force out and ending the second inning. No runs on a hit for Peters Township. No errors in the inning, and no runner left on base. After 2 full innings, it's Bethel Park 1, Peters Township 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis. Just a reminder, if you're watching this game on April 16th, 2025, it is a live baseball game. We do have live games on Bethel Park Public Access Television on cable, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32. And as always, you can watch on Blackhawk TV 412 on YouTube. Just search Blackhawk TV 412, subscribe, get notified when we do our live streams of these games. We're covering every home and away game in section for Bethel Park Baseball this 2025 season. Zach Miner still pitching, and a strike thrown to Ryan Petrus. He's 1 for 1. He singled. Had an infield single back in the first inning, and lines that one fouled on the right side, and Petrus quickly down to the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Petrus also later scored on the sacrifice fly hit by Jack Bruckner back in that first inning. Bethel Park sent 6 to the plate in the first, then got set down 1-2-3 in the second. Miner's pitch. Chopped on the ground, left side, foul. Still a no ball, 2 strike count on the Bethel Park shortstop. Zach Miner from the windup. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. This is a section game, Class 5A, Section 2 in the WPIAL for baseball. Miner didn't like those pitch calls, so Ryan Petrus steps out and both players reset. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Swing. Foul tip into the mitt of the catcher of Peters Township, Liam Wall. And that is out number 1. Stanoff bats now with 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. Stanoff hit a chopper that bounced over the head of the 3rd baseman back in that first inning to reach base. Oh, 1. Breaking ball hit foul. Stanoff quickly behind, no balls, 2 strikes. It was a little shaky first inning for Zach Miner, but got out of it with minimal damage. And in the second inning, he set Bethel Park down 1-2-3 and looks to be in a rhythm here. 0-2. Down low for a ball, bait pitch. Ethan Stanoff with the discipline. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another pitch in the dirt. That evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Bethel Park catcher. Miner from the windup. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball. That one falls below the zone. That runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Miner gets his sign, and before he gets to deliver the pitch, the umpire awards time to Stanhoff. So he'll have to reset and do it again. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 4. And Stanhoff reaches for the second time in this game, this time by being walked. So Aaron Hoffbauer goes to first base to courtesy run for Stanhoff. Hoffbauer leading off first base. 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning, and now here's the number 3 hitter in the order. It's Noah Lejeune. Pickoff attempt to first base. Hoffbauer back safely. Lejeune tried to bunt, but popped it up to Miner, the pitcher. Back in the 1st inning, so he is 0 for 1. Another pickoff attempt. Hoffbauer safe. Miner looks over, comes set. Slide step, swing and a miss. No ball, 1 strike count on Noah Lejeune. Right now in Washington, 47 degrees. It's been a windy couple of days. At least there's no rain like there was yesterday, today. A pickoff attempt, Hoffbauer, safe. It's just the heavy winds that are making it feel much colder than it truly is outside. Slide step, outside, ball. 1-1 count on Noah Lejeune. Lejeune gets his sign from the 3rd base coach. Miner gets his sign from Wall, the catcher. 1-1. Breaking ball on the ground toward shortstop. That'll get through for a base hit. And Lejeune now 1 for 2 after hitting that single. Stofic, the shortstop, was playing in double play depth, cheating toward the second base bag, and that left a hole on the left side of the infield for Lejeune to hit that ball through. And on the play, Hoffbauer advances from 1st to 2nd base. So still 1 out, still the top of the 3rd inning. Bethel Park with 2 runners on. And now here is the cleanup hitter, Mike Bruckner. No official at bat because he walked back in the 1st inning. Chopped on the ground to Stofic at short, and he bobbles it and can't make a play. So Mike Bruckner reaches. That loads the bases, and that'll bring up Jack Bruckner, who batted in pretty much the exact same spot back in the 1st inning. He had a sacrifice fly with the bases loaded, scoring Ryan Petrus. Bases loaded here for him again. 1 out, top of the 3rd inning. Takes strike 1 there over the outside edge. Mike Miner's dealt with some trouble against the top of this Bethel Park order. Since he's gone through them. This is his 2nd time through the order now. Bethel Park's batting. No ball, 1 strike pitch in the dirt. Wall collects it, and no advancement from any base runners. 1-1 count. Hoffbauer courtesy running for Stanhoff on 3rd base. Lejeune on 2nd. Mike Bruckner on 1st base. Miner taking extra time to find the sign, and Jack Bruckner calls time and steps out. Minor comes set. 1-1 delivery. Just a bit off the plate, counts 2-1. Two ball, one strike count on Jack Bruckner and a pivotal point in this game. Minor comes set. Strike two called over the lower outside corner of the plate. One and two on Bethel Park's starting center fielder. Or 2-2. Minor with the pitch. Foul tip into the mitt of Wall, the catcher. That goes down as a strikeout of Jack Bruckner, and that is out number 2. Now Eric Meal will bat with 2 outs. Bases still loaded for Bethel Park, top of the 3rd inning. Minor taking a long time again to find his sign. He gets one, comes set and pitches. Line drive foul for strike 1. Eric Meal, another player getting more playing time because of the Ryan Walsh injury. Bethel Park just had to comb through some outfielders, and Meal has earned the job after hitting pretty well in the opportunities that he got, first off the bench and now he gets to bat as a starting outfielder for Bethel Park. Breaking ball right over the middle of the plate. No ball, 2-strike count. Zach Minor a strike away from escaping immediate danger. Strike 3. Meal swings through it. And Zach Minor tightropes out of danger. Gets the strikeout and strands the bases loaded. Bethel Park with 1 hit in the inning. Bases were left loaded. After 2.5 innings, it's Bethel Park 1, Peters Township 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis, bringing you this game live. If you're watching on April 16th, 2025, this is a live baseball game. Whether you're watching on cable TV, Comcast 21, Verizon 32, or whether you're watching on the Blackhawk TV 412 YouTube channel, welcome. Appreciate your presence. Bethel Park with a 1-0 lead coming into the bottom of the 3rd. Jordan Hott batting. He takes strike 1. He's the 8th hitter in the order. And he is the designated hitter. He's batting for the catcher, Liam Wall. Dylan Paul now pitching into a third inning, and he throws that pitch down low, ball one. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dylan Paul has faced one over the minimum so far through 2 full innings pitched. He's been efficient so far through the lineup. Brad Bucci of Peters, the only one with a hit to this point. It's a 7-inning regulation game. We're in the bottom of the third. Swing and a foul ball. Ross Memorial Park, the venue of this game. Peters Township, the hosting team. Bethel Park won the first game of the 2-game set yesterday, winning a 5-3 game in Bethel Park. Just a bit outside, count full 3-2 on Hot. That's how these games go. Every team will play each section opponent twice during a season, 1 home game and 1 away game. Swinging a foul ball into the Bethel Park dugout. Pitch from Dylan Paul. Popped up. And foul out of play down the left side of the field. Count remains the same. There are 7 teams in Class 5A Section 2. Bethel Park leading the pack in section. Line drive into center field for a base hit. Hot rounds first. He'll stop there. Bruckner gets it in. And so Hot aboard at first base with Peters Township's second hit of the game. 1 on, nobody out. Here is Adam Corrado, third baseman and 9th hitter in the order. Dylan Paul gets his sign. Kick and pitch, outside, ball 1. Paul got through the first 2 innings with minimal damage. Gives up a leadoff single here, though, in this bottom of the 3rd inning to begin. Hot leads off first. Pitch is down low. Counts 2 balls and no strikes. Bethel Park got a run in the 1st inning after a couple players singled. Jack Bruckner hit a sacrifice fly, bringing home the first run of the game. That's been most of the offense to this point. Bethel Park, even after that 1st inning, hasn't gotten too much offense in terms of hits. They did strand the bases loaded in the top of the 3rd. And despite getting the bases loaded with 1 out in the 1st inning, they only brought home 1 run. Bethel Park in yesterday's game scored in every inning but the 6th in their 5-3 win. Bunt shown. Bunt popped foul behind the plate. Strike 1, 2 balls, 1 strike count on Corrado. And speaking of bunts too, both teams were using the bunt pretty liberally in yesterday's game. Bethel Park even tried this game earlier on to have the number 3 hitter Noah Lejeune bunt with 1st and 2nd, with runners on 1st and 2nd and nobody out. He ended up popping out to the pitcher. So unique usage of bunts by both teams in this 2-game set. 3-ball, 1 strike count. Here's Dylan Paul's pitch. Too far outside. That's ball 4. And Peters Township has 2 on with nobody out, and the top of the order coming through now. Standoff goes out to talk to Dylan Paul. Relatively quick conversation. James Tiger to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Batting here with 2 on base and nobody out. Peters Township down a run in this bottom of the 3rd inning. Paul gets his sign and comes set. Pickoff attempt, or just a look over, really, no throw. Bunt shown. Bunt popped into the air, foul behind the plate, hit the netting on the backstop. No ball, 1 strike count. Peters 2-3 in Class 5A, Section 2. They're 6th in the section of the 7 teams. They were toward the middle until they lost to Bethel Park. The standings relatively close. Every team has played a different amount of section games to this point. Peters 2-3, Bethel Park 5-2. Bunt shown and popped back again behind the plate and foul. Bethel's played 7 section games. Peters has played 5. Peters Township went to Florida at the beginning of April and played in a little tournament down there. So in between that tournament, they won 1, lost 1 against Moon, and then after the tournament, they won 1, lost 1 against Chartiers Valley. Outside, counts 1-2 on James Tigard. Bethel Park started the season winning 2 against Upper St. Clair. Then Bethel Park split against Trinity and split against South Fayette. Then won the first of 2 against Peters. Outside for a ball. Tigard demonstrating discipline. Count even up 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, 2 on base. Jordan Hott on second after he singled and was advanced to second base on the Adam Corrado walk. The pitch to Tigard. Line drive towards center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Bruckner plays it on 2 hops, throws it in. It's cut off by Owen White. Jordan Hott scores from second base, and Peters Township has tied it. It's 1-1 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So again, Hott, he scores from second base. Corrado advances from first to second. Tigard is on first with a single and a run batted in. It is a 1-1 game. And now here is Stoker, who flies that one toward right. Stokes under it. Stokes makes the catch and gets the throw in quickly. So Jackson Stoker flies out to right field for out number 2. Meanwhile, on the play, Adam Corrado advances from second to third. So that was the first out in the bottom of the 3rd. And here's Colin Stofik, 0 for 1. Pickoff attempt. Tigard cutting a run down between first and second base. Tigard is run all the way back to first base by Ryan Petrus, who the entire time Petrus was looking over at third to make sure Corrado didn't break. And so runners remain on the corners. And still no count since that wasn't a pitch. Another pickoff attempt. Tigard back safely. Jordan Hott singled to open the inning. Corrado walked. James Tigard hit a single that scored Hott from second base. And Stoker just flat out to right, pushing Corrado from second to third. Pickoff attempt again. Still no pitches yet delivered to Stofik. Is at the plate now. Still a no ball, no strike count. 1-1 tie, bottom of the 3rd inning. Dylan Paul Pitches. Breaking ball called a strike. Tigard advances to second without any throw from Stanhoff, the catcher. And so that places both runners in scoring position with one out. Corrado on third, Tigard on second. Two in scoring position for Colin Stofick. Bethel Park infield playing in. Outfield still at medium depth. Here's the 0-1. Right over the outside edge of the plate. That makes the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Dylan Paul comes set. 0-2. Just a bit outside off the plate. That's a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Colin Stofick, starting shortstop, third hitter in the order for Peters. Bethel Park scored on a sac fly in the top of the first inning. Bunch of zeros later, Peters Township got a run in thanks to a James Tigard RBI single. 1-1 tie. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there of Colin Stofick. That makes it 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Still 2 in scoring position. And 2 mound opponents facing each other. Zach Miner, starting pitcher for Peters Township, with an opportunity to push across some runs toward his cause. Dylan Paul's delivery. Inside, ball 1. Lights are on here at Ross Memorial Park as the sun continues to set. The temperature continues to drop. 45 degrees right now in Washington. And heavy winds blowing in the area. Inside, ball 2. Hitters count pitch, 2-0. Swing, pop fly. That'll be foul, well out of play. That counts 2-1. Peters Township has yet to win or lose a set against an opponent. All of their section doubleheaders have ended in splits. 1 win, 1 loss. 2-1 pitch inside. Bethel Park with 1 doubleheader win against Upper St. Clair to begin the season. They can't lose this set, but they could split it if Peters can win this one tonight. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Dylan Paul steps off the mound. Miner steps back in. Outside, ball 4, another walk issued by Dylan Paul. Now time called quickly. Zach Miner has the right to a courtesy runner, so he'll be taken off the field since he's pitching. It's Matthew Scovert over at first base, who is the courtesy runner for Zach Miner. So that walk loads the bases. Corrado on third base, Tigard on second, and Miner's courtesy runner Scovert on first base. Brody Takis in the batter's box facing Dylan Paul. And Paul steps off. And don't worry about methodically counting the number of step-offs or timeouts called. Those Major League Baseball implemented rules have not yet reached the WPIAL. Paul comes set at the letters. First pitch, a strike. Counts no balls, 1 strike. Peters with 1 run in already this half inning, thanks to a James Tigert RBI single. And a golden opportunity here for Peters to take the lead and push across several runs with a base hit. Strike 2. Ball ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Paul gets his sign from Stanhoff and comes set. Check just a bit. The pitch call was off the plate. And with that, Stanhoff's going to call time and go talk to Dylan Paul. It was a close pitch, but just off the plate. Takis 0 for 1 in this game. Got out back in the second inning. Takis is the 7th hitter of the order to bat for Peters Township in this half inning. 1-2 pitch. Too high. Count even 2-2, and the plot thickens further. Takis steps out and collects himself. Dylan Paul urgent and ready to pitch. Paul sets. 2-2 pitch. Just a bit outside. And that runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. All runners should be running on the pitch. Paul comes set. Payoff pitch. Chopped on the ground. High to Dylan Paul. Throws it over to Owen White. Takis is forced out at first base. And the inning comes to an end. Peters Township gets 1 run in the bottom of the 3rd inning, sends 7 hitters to the plate. But Peters leaves the bases loaded, and after 3 full innings, it's a 1-1 tie. Peters and Bethel Park in a tie ball game. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You see the lineups for both teams and the results to this point. Not a whole lot of offense. And both teams have escaped bases loaded situations to limit damage so far through 3 innings. Now it's the 4th. Bottom of the order due up for Bethel Park. And Nick Rillo the first to hit. There's strike 1. Rillo, White, and Stokes, the 3, set to bat for Bethel Park. Zach Miner enters his 4th inning on the mound. Breaking ball fouled back. Count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Miner from the windup. Fouled away. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Peters Township right now in 6th place of the 7 teams in Class 5A, Section 2 of the WPIAL. They've got a 2-3 section record. Bethel Park reclaimed the lead in the section. They're in 1st. As that breaking ball misses. Bethel Park in 1st. South Fayette lost a section game yesterday, so South Fayette a half game back at Bethel Park. South Fayette at 5-3. Right now in section play this season. Strike 3 called over the inside edge of the plate. Nick Rillo down on strikes, and he's now 0 for 2 in the game. That is the Also the first out of the top of the fourth. I'll bring up Owen White, first baseman and 8-hitter in the order. So far, Zach Miner has faced Bethel Park in the same quantities. In the first and third innings, he faced 6 hitters, top 6 hitters, and to start the second and the fourth now, he's faced the bottom 3 hitters. Back in the second, he set down the bottom of the order 1, 2, 3. One pitch, a little too far outside. Counts 2 balls and a strike on Owen White. Zach Miner with just 1 run given up so far through 3 1/3 innings now. Swing and a miss. Bethel Park got a couple singles in the first. Jack Bruckner had a sacrifice fly to drive one of those runners home. Peters got its run in the bottom of the 3rd inning on an RBI single by James Tigard after the first 2 batters, I should say, of the inning reached. Now full count on Owen White. Line drive over the head of the third baseman into left field. Owen White rounds first, and he'll go back. That's his first hit of the game. I'll bring up Caden Stokes. He is 0 for 1. 9-hitter in the order and right fielder for Bethel Park. Bunt shown. Bunt missed. And Wall, the catcher, throws over to first. Owen White had a huge secondary, but retreats back successfully. That happened yesterday, too. Peters Township had a couple players picked off for Bethel Park for taking 2 big of secondary leads on bunts. Pick off to first. Safe is the call. That one was much closer. Owen White leading off first base. Miner comes set. Swing and a miss by Stokes. He's behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Chopped on the ground towards shortstop. 1. Safe on the back end. Stokes beats it out. That was Stofick at shortstop stepping on the bag at second to force out Owen White. Caden Stokes beaks out the back end throw. So he reaches on a fielder's choice. So now there are 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. Back to the top of the order for Bethel Park. Here's Ryan Petras. Sharply hit on the ground to Stofick at shortstop. He will flip to second and get the force out of Stokes, and that ends the top of the 4th inning. For Bethel Park, no runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. After 3 1/2 innings, it is Bethel Park 1, Peters Township 1. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. If you're watching this game on April 16th, 2025, it is a live baseball game. We do live games on cable TV as well as on YouTube. If you want to watch on YouTube, go to Blackhawk TV 412. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're doing all section games live. Home and away games that Bethel Park plays in section this season. And, of course, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32 in the Bethel Park area for the public access station. If you or somebody you know still watches cable and wants to get your games that way, but you can watch on the internet, on YouTube, and on cable TV. 0-1 pitch, fouled back. Brad Bucci batting 1 for 1. He got the first hit for Peters Township back in the second inning. Bucci, Alsbaugh, and Hott, the three scheduled to hit, 6, 7, 8 in the order for Peters. Timeout called just before Paul started his windup. No ball, 2 strike count on Bucci. Paul with the pitch. Breaking ball chased. Standoff left to complete the strikeout, and he gets it to Owen White for the force. Strikeout, 2-3 put out of Bucci. That's out number 1. One out, bases empty, bottom of the 4th inning. This game tied at 1. There's Michael Alsbaugh. He's 0 for 1 in this game. Chops that one on the ground to the left side. Petras plays on the backhand, gets a quick throw to first, but it is not in time. Alsbaugh reaches on an infield single. Going to bring up Jordan Hott, number 8 hitter, batting with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 4th inning. Other than the James Tigard RBI single, the other 3 hits for Peters have come from hitters in the bottom of the order. Bucci, Alsbaugh, and Hott, the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the order. And you can add Adam Corrado, the number 9 hitter, to the column for getting on base because he walked. Runner goes from first, pitch inside. And Standoff doesn't even try a throw. That is a stolen base for Alsbaugh. So he's in scoring position. And at this point in the game right now, he's representing the potential go-ahead run. Out there now at second base. Dylan Paul pitching in his 4th inning of work now. Comes set and delivers a breaking ball just off the plate. Hitters count for Hott, 2 balls, no strikes. Hott did single back in the 3rd inning, and he came around to score. He was the first hitter of 7 that Peters Township batted through in their run-scoring 3rd inning. Pitch misses for a ball, counts 3 balls and no strikes. Bethel Park got a run in the 1st. Peters got a run in the 3rd inning. We got a 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hott way ahead in the count. Here's the 3-0. That one finds the zone. Paul gets one over. Counts 3-1. Paul gets the sign from Stanhoff and comes set. And Paul steps off. Three ball, 1 strike count. Swing and a fly ball left side of the field. That'll go foul out of play over the fence. Adds another strike to the count. It's now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Line drive towards center, right at Jack Bruckner. Glides over to make that catch. And that is out number 2. Adam Corrado bats now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position in the form of Michael Alspa at second base. Corrado with no official at-bats so far in the game, but his first plate appearance he reached on a walk. Dylan Paul looks over to second. Swing and a miss. Big hack from Corrado. That is strike 1. Light shining brightly here at Ross Memorial Park as the sun sets behind the hills in left field, on the left side of the field. No ball, 1 strike count. Outside, ball. One ball, 1 strike count. Adam Corrado, the hitter. Dylan Paul, the pitcher. Michael Alspa, the only one on base. He's out there at second. 1-1. Chopped on the ground to third. Mike Bruckner bobbles it, and it gets past Petrus. He recovers in enough time to keep Alspa at third base. But that error will extend the inning and allow for James Tiger to come up and get Peters Township's top of the order up to the plate here. So James Tiger bats with runners on the corners and 2 outs in this 1-1 tie game. Paul tries to pick off at first, and Corrado is back safely. Paul comes set. Another pickoff. Tag! Safe is the call. Corrado jumped off the base, was leaning towards second, but recovers in enough time. Called safe at first on the pickoff attempt. And Paul gets back on the mound. Paul's taking a long time to get his sign. Now comes set at the letters. Another pickoff attempt. Tag! Safe again! Corrado continuing to lean towards second base, but got back in time, according to the field umpire. So runners remain on the corners. Still 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, and time called. And Bethel Park's going to have a meeting on the mound. Bethel Park scored in the first inning on a sacrifice fly by Jack Bruckner after Petrus, Stanhoff, and Mike Bruckner reached. It was all zeros after that until the 3rd inning. Peters Township got a run in on an RBI single by James Tiger, but despite sending 7 hitters to the plate, Peters was only able to score 1 run in that bottom of the 3rd inning, which gets us to this point in the game. Bethel Park did not put up any runs in the 4th. Peters batting with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. This is a 7-inning regulation game. This is the second game of a 2-game set between 2 teams in Class 5A, Section 2. Peters 2-3 in section play this season. Puts them 6th of the 7 teams in Class 5A Section 2. Bethel Park in the lead by a half game over South Fayette. Bethel Park's 5-2 in section. South Fayette 5-3. Paul's pitch, runner goes. Strike called, throw to second is cut off. Short of the base by Nick Rillo. Michael Ausbaugh did not flinch at third base, so he remains there. Stolen base for Adam Corrado. Again, the pitch was called a strike, so it's 0-1 on James Tigard. Strike 2. Right over the plate, counts no balls and 2 strikes. Tigard, batting hero, is responsible, or I should say is responsible for the only run batted in for Peters Township in the game to this point. Has an opportunity here with 2 in scoring position. Paul steps off, steps back on. He comes set and then steps off again. And gestures for standoff to go through the signs again. Picks one he likes. Comes set at the letters. Breaking ball, foul tip into the mitt of Ethan Stanhoff. And Bethel Park escapes a situation with 2 runners in scoring position. Tigard strikes out. Inning is over. Peters Township gets 2 in scoring position, fails to score in that half inning. 4 full innings have now passed, and it's still a 1-1 tie, Bethel Park and Peters Township with the tie score. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. There's the score line so far for each individual hitter. Few spurts of offense through this game, but despite that, it's a 1-1 tie going into inning number 5 of 7. Ethan Stanhoff to start. It's Stanhoff, Lejeune, and Mike Bruckner, the 3 set to open this inning for Bethel Park on offense. First pitch misses down low. So both Dylan Paul and Zach Miner, the 2 starting pitchers, have escaped their own jams in this one and prevented this game from getting out of hand. So kept minimal damage, yielding the 1-1 tie to this point. That one caught a strike, count even 1-1. So not a game with a high amount of offense, but a game with a lot of tension through 4 innings. Ball. Two ball, 1 strike count on the Bethel Park catcher, who is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Again, that one close to the dirt, counts 3-1. Sharp ground ball off of Zach Miner's glove, but it trickles toward first, and Miner able to recover and get the force out of Ethan Stanhoff at first base. That is out number 1. So Ethan Stanhoff, for the first time this game, does not reach base. One out, top of the 5th inning. Here is Noah Lejeune, 3-hitter in the order for Bethel Park, designated hitter. Hitting for pitcher Dylan Paul. He is 1 for 2 with a single in this game. batting for the third time. One 0 pitch. Breaking ball, swung over and missed. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike on Noah Lejeune. Another breaking pitch, that one a bit too high and perhaps inside as well. Counts 2-1. Fastball swung on and missed. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside for a ball, and the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Lejeune down on strikes. He's now 1 for 3 in the game, and that is the second out. In the top of the 5th inning, that'll bring up cleanup hitter Mike Bruckner. 0 for 1 with a walk. Strike. And that off-speed pitch count is 0-1. Zach Miner an out away from completing 5 full innings. Line drive toward right field. That is going to fall over the head of the right fielder, Bucci. Bruckner stops at second base and gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. That'll bring up Jack Bruckner to the plate. Drove in the only run for Bethel Park so far in this game. That was back in the 1st inning when he hit a sacrifice fly. Zach Miner comes set. Bruckner leads off second. Bruckner shows bunt, pulls back, and takes it for ball 1. So it's definitely an unusual play for general baseball strategy, but Bruckner did reach after he bunted yesterday in one of his at-bats. He reached base, got a single out of a bunt with 2 outs. Shows bunt again, bunts it, pops it up toward the Bethel Park dugout on the first base line, but it drops foul, count even 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jack Bruckner. 2 outs. Mike Bruckner at second base. Miner looks to second. Bruckner with a sizable lead at second base. Jack Bruckner gets the bunt down. Miner fields, throws. Out is the call at first base. James Tigard, the second baseman, was covering the bag. Jack Bruckner's forced out at first base after trying to bunt with 2 outs. And that play ends the top of the 5th inning. So for Bethel Park, no runs on a hit and 1 runner was left on base. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's Bethel Park 1, Peters Township 1. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. If you're watching this game on April 16th, 2025, it is live, whether you're watching on YouTube, Blackhawk TV 412, or whether you're watching on Bethel Park Public Access Television cable, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32. We've got live baseball right now. We've got live baseball games all season, home and away games you can watch on Blackhawk TV on YouTube and BPTV cable. Home and away games in section. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for Peters Township to start this half inning. Jackson Stoker, Colin Stofick, and Zach Miner. Dylan Paul now entering his 5th inning on the mound. Line drive out toward left center field. That will fall and hop twice in front of Jack Bruckner. He gets it in quickly. Leadoff single for Jackson Stoker, and that's his first hit of the game. Runner on first, nobody out. Here's Colin Stofick, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pickoff attempt. And it hits Stoker on the foot and stays on the infield. That ball bounced up toward Owen White, the first baseman. And the foot of Stoker may have saved that one from venturing off into right field. Dylan Paul's pitch. Outside, ball 1. Paul looks over to first and comes set, then tries a pickoff. Tight game. Bethel Park last scored in the first inning. Peters Township got its run in the 3rd. This is inning number 5 of 7 regulation innings. That one flied toward right field. That'll get out of play over the fence. And that evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball dropped below the zone. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Colin Stofick. Peters Township's number 3 hitter in the order. Pickoff attempt. Stoker back safely. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Strike 3 called. Stanhoff's throw is just a bit late. Peters picked it well and got a quick tag on Stoker, but Stoker did slide in safely. So he gets a stolen base. Colin Stofick called out on strikes. And he's now 0 for 3. That strikeout was the first out of this bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Zach Miner. Miner 0 for 1 with a walk and 2 plate appearances to this point. Chopped on the ground off the plate and fouled down the first base line. Counts 0-1. No ball, 1 strike count on Peters Township's starting pitcher. Breaking ball misses. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of tension, a lot of energy from both dugouts. A lot of missed opportunities from both teams at the plate. A lot of base runners left on. A lot of danger averted by these two players, Miner and Paul. 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Two ball, 1 strike count. Line drive towards center field. Bruckner tries to play it, and he can't get a beat on it. It falls at his feet. He plays it on a bounce and gets it in quickly. It'll go down as a single for Zach Miner, his first hit of the game. And that puts runners on the corners. Matthew Scovert, his second time now courtesy running for pitcher Zach Miner. On the play, Jackson Stoker advanced from second to third. Standoff will go out and talk to Dylan Paul. This is a tight game. Peters Township playing to avoid losing its first 2-game set of the season. Bethel Park with the opportunity to sweep its second. Bethel Park swept Upper St. Clair to open the season. Open its section part of the season, I should say. Peters has split all of its section sets so far. None have ended in 2 losses for Peters. Check swing, foul ball. Brody Tackis hit the plate for Peters Township, 0 for 2 out of the 5 spot in the order. Stoker singled, stole second, and then advanced to third on the Zach Miner single. 1 out, 0-1 pitch, runner goes. Ball outside, Stanhoff won't throw it. Zach Miner steals second base with no contest. So now both runners in scoring position for Peters Township. And just 1 out, a sacrifice fly could drive home a run. Eric Meal playing deep out in left field. Jack Bruckner in center is around medium depth. Caden Stokes in right is playing deep. 1-1. Breaking ball falls in the dirt. Bethel Park infield is playing in, guarding against that runner from scoring at third. Two-one count. On the ground, over the head of Paul. Nick Rollo can't make the play, and it gets into center. 1 run scores. Bruckner with a strong throw home, but it's offline, and 2 runners come in to score. Tackis with a single, 2 runs batted in, and he advances to second on the throw. So the infield playing in does not help Bethel Park in that situation. So on the play, Stoker scores from third. Miner, his courtesy runner, Matthew Scovert, scored from second. with that time called, Tack is taken out, and in his place, it's a pinch runner, Luke Giuliani. So Tack is not entitled to a courtesy runner. He's not a pitcher or a catcher, so that is an official substitution. Tackis can re-enter the game next half inning if Peters Township chooses to do that. But right now that is an official swap. Giuliani on second base. And that pitch called a strike on Brad Bucci. 1 for 2 in the game with a single. Peters just got 2 runs and now leads 3-1 over Bethel Park. Line drive, foul. Well out of play over the fence on the right field line. Count, no balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Just a bit too far inside. That makes the count 1-2 on Brad Bucci. Dylan Paul comes set. And the 1-2 pitch. Line drive. This time the left side of the field. That'll go foul over the fence. Count remains 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Lined, fouled on the left side. Out of play again. Dylan Paul was cruising through the first couple innings of this game. Peters Township just slowly started chipping away, got a run in the third, and in this inning is broken through big with 2 runs. Fly ball, right side of the field. Owen White runs after it, but runs out of room. That goes over the fence. Another foul ball. Bethel Park hasn't scored since the first inning. Peters Township, after leaving several runners on base throughout this game, finally cashes in with a 2 spot and potentially more. There's 1 out in this bottom of the 5th inning. Paul looks to second, now throws the pitch. Line drive, past Petrus into center. Bruckner charges, throws home, ball cut off by Owen White. He relays it to second, and the tag applied, out called at second base. So Bucci gets his second hit, but is thrown out trying to stretch it into a 2-base hit. Meanwhile, on the play, Giuliani advances from second to third. So Bethel Park prevents any runs from scoring on that play. And Bethel Park gets an out. So 2 outs, runner on third, bottom of the 5th inning, and Bethel Park is now going to have a meeting at the mound. Dylan Paul is being taken out of the game. So he officially has given up 3 runs, and Giuliani is his responsibility on second base. So the book not officially closed on him yet. Dylan Paul looked like he got his first base glove and will remain in the game at first. And we'll see what the official substitutions are as we see the pitcher come to the mound. It looks like Owen White is going to go from first base to come into pitch. So a straight swap. Dylan Paul goes from pitching to playing first base, and Owen White goes from first base to come into pitch. 3-1's the score. Bethel Park trailing Peters Township now. And with this stoppage in play, gives us an opportunity to look at the score line for both teams. Bethel Park's hitters at the top of the order have had more success than the bottom of the order. Peters Township, it was the other way around for the longest time. The bottom of the order was getting on base and getting hits. But now in this fifth inning, the top of the order has made some sizable contributions as well. This inning started with a Jackson Stoker hit. Zach Miner also reached in this inning. He reached base. Brody Takis for Peters ended up scoring both of them on his RBI hit. He was replaced by a pinch hitter. Brad Bucci just got out trying to stretch a single into a double. Michael Alspaw is the hitter that's set to bat and be Owen White's first adversary in this game. And Alspaw batting in a run-scoring spot with Giuliani on third base now, and with 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. Bethel Park hasn't scored since the first inning. As you see there, Jack Bruckner got an RBI on a sacrifice fly. Yeah, other than that, Bethel Park's been relatively quiet. Top of the order hitters have gotten singles. Mike Bruckner, the only one with an extra base hit for Bethel Park in this one. And the only other guy to get a hit for Bethel Park in this game was Owen White, who's now pitching. So that's where we are. 2 in for Peters Township in this bottom of the fifth inning. There are 7 innings in these games. Michael Alspaw comes into the batter's box. 1 for 2. He singled, also stole a base. Owen White's pitch. Strike. Oh, 1 count. Ball too high. Counts 1-1. All but 2 hitters in Peters Township's order have at least 1 hit. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there. Strike 2. One ball, 2 strike count. Owen White's pitch. Breaking ball outside. The count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pivotal pitch here, 2-2. Outside. That runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Alspaw strikes out swinging. And that puts an end to the 5th inning. 2 runs in for Peters Township, though, in that half inning, and Peters takes its first lead of the game. 3-1's the score. Its first lead of this 2-game set as well. It's a 3-1 Peters Township lead going to the 6th inning. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television, Comcast 21, and Verizon 32. If you're watching this game on April 16th, 2025, it is a live baseball game. Going into the sixth inning, Peters Township just took the lead. Leads 3-1 over Bethel Park. Coming into this sixth inning, and Aaron Hoffbauer is going to pinch hit. Ball one. Hoffbauer pinch hitting for Eric Meal. Ball two. Strike over the inside edge of the plate, counts 2 balls and 1 strike down. Two one, swing, line drive, right field, and foul. Hoffbauer was a courtesy runner earlier on in the game, but now he's inserted as an official substitution. Two-two count. Fly ball, softly hit toward the left field line. An attempt made at there at third base by Corrado, but he couldn't quite make the play. It falls foul. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And by the way, just speaking of substitutions as well, Brody Takis back in the game at first base. He was pinch run for by Luke Giuliani, but has been re-entered into the game, so Giuliani officially out, and Takis re-entered for the first and only time. Zach Miner steps off. His mound opponent, Dylan Paul, officially 4 2/3 innings pitched and 3 runs given up. Zach Miner has earned his way to at least start this sixth inning and opens up with a strikeout. Aaron Hoffbauer down on strikes in that pinch hit appearance. 1 out. Top of the sixth, and here is second baseman Nick Rillo, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout so far in this game. Ball. Zach Miner does a lot of throwing. He was the starting catcher in yesterday's game against Bethel Park. Now starting on the mound here for game 2, and so far pitching well. Just 1 run given up in the first inning. That's it. It's been solid zeros from the second inning forward for Zach Miner. 1-1 count. Ball. Makes it a 2 ball, 1 strike count. Sharp liner caught by Zach Miner on the mound. Reflexes at work there. And Nick Rillo now 0 for 3 in the game at the plate. It's out number 2. So 2 outs, top of the sixth. Base is empty. Bethel Park hitting, and here is Owen White, who's now the pitcher in this game for Bethel Park. Just pitched in his first inning in the bottom of the 5th. Though technically it's 1/3 of an inning. He only pitched to get 1 out. Line drive, base hit for Owen White. His second hit of the game, he's now 2 for 3. And Bethel Park's going to get a courtesy running appearance out of this one since Owen White's pitching now. He gets a courtesy runner. So Owen Tarosky's the courtesy runner for Bethel Park. He's on first base running for the pitcher, Owen White. 2 outs, runner on first. Right now for Bethel Park, Caden Stokes represents the tying run. Strike called, counts 0-1. Caden Stokes 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice earlier on in the game. Pickoff attempt, and safe is the call. Tarosky back safely at first. 3-1 score. Peters Township has freshly acquired the lead in this game. They scored 2 in the bottom of the 5th. Strike. Breaking ball with a lot of movement. No balls, 2 strikes now on Stokes. Ryan Petrus set next to hit if Stokes can reach base. Big kick from Minor. That ball flied foul out of play down the right side of the field. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Wind still swirling here in Washington County now, 44 degrees, but feels like 36 out on the field. Pickoff attempt. Tarosky back safely. Oh, 2 pitch. Runner goes. Sharp grounder. That's going to die at second base. Sliding safely is Stokes. It was a solid effort at second base by James Tigert to recover and stop the ball from going to the outfield. That prevents Tarosky from advancing any further than second base. And now time is called. The Peters Township infield will have a meeting with the coach. So Stokes reaches with his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 3 with a single. And this allows the opportunity for Ryan Petrus to bat with the potential tying run on base. Though 2 outs are on the have been tallied in this top of the 6th inning. Let's see a quick review there of the score line for individual hitters for both teams. Petrus 1 for 3, Stanoff 1 for 2, Lejeune 1 for 3. So the next 3 hitters all have at least 1 hit in this game off Zach Minor. So if Minor does stay in the game, looks like he is, Bethel Park's now coming through the batting order for a 4th time. There's 7 innings in these games. Right now we're in the top of the 6th. Courtesy runner Owen Tarosky on second base. Caden Stokes on first. Fouled on the right side of the field, counts 0-1. Zach Minor comes set. On the ground right side. Played at first base by Takis. Steps on the first base bag. Forces out Ryan Petrus. And that play ends the top of the 6th inning. Bethel Park gets a couple runners on. Fails to score in the top of the 6th inning. Going to the bottom of the 6th, it's Peters Township 3 and Bethel Park 1. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. Search Blackhawk TV 412 on YouTube to find Blackhawk TV, all sports, all the time as it relates to Bethel Park teams. And right now we're in baseball season, so if you want to see home and away games for the baseball team live on YouTube, you can watch Blackhawk TV 412 and subscribe so you get notified when we go live for these games. Jordan Hott takes ball one. He's at the plate now. 8-9-1 hitters due up for Peters Township. Hott, Corrado, and Tigard. And this game is live on April 16th, 2025. So for all of you watching on cable, this is a live baseball game. As you see it, we do reruns of these games as well, but I'd like to make that clear. We also do these games live now on cable TV. If you or someone you know still watches on cable, shows or sports or whatever, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32 in the Bethel Park area. That's where you can see these games as well. Just plenty of options for you to watch live baseball this spring. It's a 3-ball, no-strike count on Jordan Hott. He's 1 for 2. He singled and scored. Strike 2. Peters finishing up its third time through the order. Peters chased Dylan Paul out of the game after 4 2/3 innings pitched. Grounded left side. Peters dives to stop it, but can't make a play. And Hott will reach with his second hit of the game, an infield single. Nobody out, runner on first. Bunt shown, and time called. It hit him somewhere, it looked like, and then ricocheted toward the backstop. The umpire didn't make an official call, but a strike was put on the scoreboard, so it's no ball, 1 strike count. Owen White throws, and that ball's punted backwards and foul, so now it's no ball, 2 strike count on Adam Corrado. This is the first inning Owen White has started an inning pitching. He got the final out in the bottom of the 5th. After relieving Dylan Paul. 0-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Ball 1. Jordan Hott led off by getting on base back in the 3rd inning, and he later scored. I made it a 1-1 tie at the time. Bethel Park hasn't scored since the 1st. Ball. 2-ball, 2 strike count. All but 2 hitters in the Peters Township order have gotten hits. At least 1 each. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Corrado down on strikes. And is out number 1. One out. Jordan Hott still on first base, and it's back to the top of the order. Peters Township now coming through for the 4th time. James Tigard takes strike 1. 1 for 3 with a single and a run batted in this game. Nothing in 1 pitch. In the dirt, blocked well by Stanhoff. Keeps it in front of him. And that prevents any advancement from a wild pitch. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wait, comes set. Too low, count is 2 balls and a strike. Bethel Park right now leading Class 5A Section 2 after South Fayette lost the game it played yesterday. But if Peters Township can hold on and win this game, Bethel Park and South Fayette will be tied again. They'll both have 5-3 section records. 2-1 pitch. Strike two. Entering the day, the order is as follows for Class 5A Section 2 in the WPIAL. Bethel Park, South Fayette, Upper St. Clair, Moon, Chartiers Valley, Peters Township, and then Trinity at the bottom. 2-2. Line drive into right. That will fall for a hit and stay fair. Stokes misplays it, and it rolls past him, allowing for extra runners, or extra bases to be advanced. Relay home is well late and offline. Tigard with his second hit and RBI advances to third base after the misplay by Caden Stokes in right field. Hott was able to score all the way from first base. And Peters Township extends its lead. It's now 4-1. Runner in scoring position at third base with one out. Bethel Park's infield comes in. And Jackson Stoker steps up to the plate. In the dirt, Stanhoff blocks it. One ball, no strikes. Home plate umpire says that was a swung at pitch. Counts 1-1. Bethel Park now trailing by 3 runs. It's the bottom of the 6th inning in this 7-inning game. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt. Stanhoff blocks it. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Fouled back. That evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Owen White comes set. Ball. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jackson Stoker. Ball 4, and that's a base awarded on balls. And that's the second time this game Jackson Stoker has reached. There's Colin Stofick, to this point 0 for 3 out of the 3 spot in the order. But with a base hit, could collect an RBI. And pat on the Peters Township lead. Owen White tries for a pickoff attempt at first. Paul picks it out of the ground. Preventing any further errors. White comes set. Foul. Behind the plate, counts 0-1. James Tigard on third base. Got a hit and then advanced on a misplay and right. All the way to third, picked up on RBI on that particular play. So he's on third. Jackson Stoker just walked. He's on first. Pickoff attempt. Stoker back without a tag. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. It's bottom of the 6th. Ball too high. Count even 1-1. Owen White got the final out of the bottom of the 5th after Dylan Paul was taken out. And has gotten 1 out so far in the top of the 6th. So just 2/3 of an inning pitched for him officially. Slide step, swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes. Pickoff attempt again to first. Stoker back safely. Runner goes, too high, standoff throws down, tag by Petrus. Well, no tag, evidently the field umpire says safe. And Stoker steals second base. That's his second steal of the game. Now 2 runners in scoring position, 2-2 count, 1 out. Bottom 6. Bethel Park's infield once again comes in a preventative defensive alignment, trying to prevent that runner from third to come home. Time called. Stofick steps back in. The pitch from Owen White. Swing and a miss. He chased it. Second time Stofick has struck out today. He's 0 for 4. And a big out there. There's 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. And Zach Miner, who's completed 6 innings on the mound. Not going to bat here in a run-scoring spot with 2 outs. Outside for a ball, counts 1-0. Miner's reached base a few times in this game on a collection of walks and hits. Ball counts 2-0. Owen White does have a base open. Takis awaits on deck, would bat next if Miner can reach. And Takis drove in the 2 runs last inning. Lined into right center field. Stokes runs after it, and Stokes dives. Can't make the play. 1 runs in. Second runner scores. Miner hustling to third, and the relay in is not in time. Well late, and Zach Miner drives in the 2 runners who are in scoring position. And Peters Township extends the lead. It's now a 6-1 ball game. So they're not going to courtesy run for Zach Miner. He's going to stay out there and run for himself at third. Takis bats here, and another run-scoring opportunity. Runner on third, 2 outs. 3 runs in this half inning for Peters Township. One 0. Ball. Makes it a 2-ball, no strike count. It was a 1-1 game through 4.5 innings. Peters got 2 in the 5th. And was pushed across 3 here in the 6th to break this game open. It's a 7-inning game as well, so Bethel Park will have one more opportunity on the top of the 7th to try to tie it. If not, it'll be a loss for Bethel Park. 2-1 count on Takis. Owen White with the pitch. Fouled back. That evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball fell below the zone. Good discipline from Takis, and the count full of 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch coming. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Takis down on strikes. And that ends the 6th inning. But damage done. 3 pushed across by Peters Township in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that makes it a 6-1 game. Last inning for Bethel Park to try to mount a comeback. They're down by 5. You're watching Bethel Park Public Access Television and Blackhawk TV's coverage of Bethel Park High School baseball. All right, so a whole host of substitutions for this top of the 7th inning for Peters Township. New pitcher Michael Auspa. He's coming from center to pitch. The whole outfield alignment has been rearranged. Brad Bucci goes from right field to left field. Jackson Stoker moves from left field to center field. And Reese Clark substituted in to play right field, so he takes the spot of Zach Stoker. Bethel Park has its 2-3-4 hitters due up this half inning. Ethan Stanhoff, Noah Lejeune, and Mike Bruckner. So Zach Minor, 6 full innings pitched, 1 run given up through those 6 innings. Bethel Park hasn't scored since inning number 1. You're watching Bethel Park High School baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis. First pitch from Alspaugh to Stanhoff is a strike, counts 0-1. Ball. Peters Township got 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to create the 5-run separation. One pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strike count now. 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off, stays alive. One-two pitch. Chased it, strike three. That is out number one. So Noah Lejeune will bat with one out and the base is empty. His team down by 5 runs. Top of the 7th inning. It's the last inning of regulation. Lejeune 1 for 3 with a single in this game. Al Spa. Not a save situation. It's trying to record the final 3 outs without incident. And get Peters Township its 3rd section win of the season. Bethel Park, at the moment, has sole possession of Class 5A Section 2 in the WPIAL, but that will change if they do indeed lose this game. Swing and a miss. South Fayette lost yesterday, falling to 5-3, a half game back of Bethel Park. If Bethel Park loses this game, Bethel Park will also be 5-3 in section. Oh, 2 pitch. Ball. One out, base is empty. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, that evens the count, 2-2. Noah Lejeune. Two ball, 2 strike count. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Al Spa. And Bethel Park now with just 1 out to work with. It's Mike Bruckner coming to the plate. Al Spa into the wind. Here's the pitch. Ball. Counts 1-0. Mike Bruckner 1 for 2. Has doubled and walked in this game. Al Spa's pitch inside, almost hit Mike Bruckner. Count as 2 balls and no strikes. Peters Township, 1 run in the 3rd, 2 runs in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th. Bethel Park, its only run scored was in the 1st inning. 2-0 pitch. Ball. 3 ball, no strike count. Two outs in the inning. 3-0 misses. It's a 4-pitch walk of Mike Bruckner. Has reached base all but once in this game. Now Jack Bruckner with the responsibility of keeping this game alive for Bethel Park. Just 1 out to work with does Bethel Park have. Mike Bruckner not being held on at first. His run is rather insignificant at the moment. And Jack Bruckner up to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Sacrifice fly in this one. Bunt shown. Bunt gets down the 3rd base line. Mike Bruckner was stealing 2nd. Rounds it heavily and stops there. Jack Bruckner with a risky move reaches with a bunt single, his 1st hit of the game. And the top of the 7th inning continues 1 batter longer Eric Meal comes up to the plate, re-entered into the game. Aaron Hoffbauer pinch hit for him. Hoffbauer struck out in his pinch hit appearance, so that's only one at bat Hoffbauer will get. Wild pitch lets both runners advance. So now Mike Bruckner's on third. Jack Bruckner's on second. Meal in his at-bats 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ball. Makes it a 2-ball, no-strike count on Eric Meal. Six to 1, Bethel Park trails. Strike right over the middle of the plate. Makes the count 2-1. Mike Bruckner walked. He's on third. Jack Bruckner had a bunt single, allowing him to reach. Both runners advanced into scoring position on a wild pitch. Strike. And now Bethel Park with one strike to work with. 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. Oswald will throw from the windup. Ball. Runs the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Rillo would bat next. Payoff pitch coming. Foul tip and a strikeout of Eric Meal. Final out of the ball game. Game over. Bethel Park loses to Peters Township by a final score of 6 to 1 in this second game. And the two in the 2-game set, they split, each winning 1 apiece. Peters Township in the later innings came through, scoring 2 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th inning, complementing the 1 run they got in the 3rd for their 6 total. Bethel Park scored first in the 1st inning and did not score at any other point in the game, yielding the 6 to 1 final score. One more review at the scoreline for you for all the hitters in the lineup. Peters Township, solid performance. Again, 7 of the 9 hitters in the order were able to get a hit in this one. Bethel Park, a few walks earned. Nobody other than Owen White had more than 1 hit in the game, and that's it. Final score, 6 to 1. Bethel Park loses, and that win for Peters Township also forces Bethel Park out of sole possession of first place in Class 5A Section 2 of the WPIAL. Both Bethel Park and South Fayette tied now with 5 and 3 section records, and Peters Township back to 500 in section, improving to 3 and 3. And Peters Township remains without being swept in a 2-game set. That's now 3 section opponents that they've gone 1-1 with. Bethel Park has gone 1-1 against all of its section opponents but 1. Again, their only sweep remains Upper St. Clair. Well, just about do it for all of us at Bethel Park Public Access Television and Blackhawk TV, for Johnny Mariano and Eric Sprouse, keeping things running smoothly at our network control center at our BPTV studios, getting this game from the internet to cable for you. I'd like to thank them. And for them, my name is Nicholas Callis saying so long. Repeating the final score one more time. Peters Township 6, Bethel Park 1. This has been a presentation of Blackhawk TV and Bethel Park Public Access Television. I need your help.